Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Lori. That we can officially call this meeting to order for the April 24th Public Property and Law Enforcement Committee meeting. Can we do roll call
Laura Negro,
here?
Ron Stendor,
Here.
Laura Miranda, Brad Ray,
Here.
Mike Stark.
Here.
Sounds like everybody's here. Next is approval of agenda. Did anyone have anything else? How's it look?
I'll make a motion. Mike Stark make a motion to approve the agenda. Ray second.
Got a first by Mike Stark, a second by Ray. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes. Next is public comments. Is there anybody online for public comment? Anyone online for public comment? Anyone online for public comment? And seeing none here, we can move out of public comment and on to approval of the PPLE meeting minutes from January 30th, 23. Any changes, anything from anyone?
I didn't get a copy of it in my packet. Yeah, it wasn't in my packet.
The only question I had was, said something about tour canceled. Said something about tour canceled on the agenda. At the very end of the minutes. Says tour canceled. I didn't know we had a tour scheduled. Yeah, number 16.
Could probably pull that out of there because we did the tour in November. So, so are you making a motion with that the meeting minutes are good except for removing number 16 tour canceled?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Ron Stender will second.
First by Ray, second by Ron. Any more discussion?
I didn't get a copy of the minutes in my packet.
Mike, I'll get you a copy. It's also on the website.
Any more discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstain?
Abstain.
Mike Stark's abstaining. So those pass. Next is review of quarterly financials. Looks like law enforcement's up first.
Yeah. So first of all, is this format better?
There's pictures and numbers, so it's kind of nice.
But I mean, this can be changed too if you want to see something different.
Something, Mike?
I did not get a copy of that in my packet. I mean, I picked up my packet today. Dick didn't get his.
I will talk to the clerk's office about that.
I mean,
Is there a way Lori could print this off and bring a copy to them so at least Mike can see it because Mike's on the committee?
Yeah, Lori, can you please print off a copy
Is that budget summary?
of the budget summary and a copy of the minutes? And Mr. Stark, do you have everything else in the packet? The enterprise agreement and the jail stuff? Do you have those?
I mean, I thought there'd just be reports that'd be given today.
Okay, Lori, can you also print off the enterprise stuff?
Sure.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I like this for a dashboard for the law enforcement budget and such. Anybody else have any comments on it?
But it does look like they're doing well.
Is there anything you guys want to highlight on here? From law enforcement, Brian, or?
Nothing or good.
Can you use your mic, dear? Thank you.
I reviewed it. Everything looks good to me, like I said. Really don't have nothing to say about it.
Anyone else? Questions? Everybody like it? Okay, we don't have any action with it, I don't think. It's just a report, so that's the first quarter. I think we can move on to the next thing, which is courthouse maintenance and 514 building report. And David,
Okay, can you guys hear me?
you can see you
All right,
in a little
perfect.
tiny picture.
So far, things have been going pretty decent. I assume you guys have seen the benches out front on Highway 2. They've been pretty beat up and battered over the winter. One of them was laying completely over on its side. Notice that there is significant rot on most of them. The question is, do we want to fix those or do away with them? I can fix them if no one is opposed to getting rid of them. It would be better for mowing and snow removal, you know. You wouldn't have to worry about ruining them again. And I mean, I haven't seen very many people using them. I assume people use them for 4th of July and everything like that. But I would assume also that blankets are more than good enough. Definitely need to start yard cleanup here shortly. We've got some pretty good yard scalpage from plowing as well. Let's see here. We plan on doing all the flowering and planting around June 2nd. I did, during the last snowstorm, I found 2 new leaks on the roof. Today, I was actually able to go up onto the roof and inspect those areas. It looks like it's just a matter of caulking some flashing, and more than capable of doing that myself. Won't know if that fixes the issue until the next storm. Let's see here. Today, I also started to set up a system in the attic until we get the roof fixed, so we can remove the rain barrel out of the courtroom, which in my opinion is quite embarrassing, and kind of seal that up in the courtroom so it looks a little bit more presentable, and take care of that leak issue until we actually have the contractors come and do repairs to the roof. 514 is, as of I know, we're still in the process of with the city of Ashland, and matter of fact, we're still showing it just in case anything falls through. Sarah's actually showing it as we speak. there's still quite a bit of stuff in there that we need to get out. I don't know if people need things, if they want to look.
Oh, Amy's gone.
I can finish for 514. So we're waiting, the city's still waiting on some final numbers on the cost of repairing it. And so they should have that fairly soon, after which they'll complete the purchase. There's nothing in the data that they've received already that is scaring them off. Oh, here comes Dave back. Dave?
So I'm back. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened there. Everybody can hear me?
Yep, internet ghost
Okay.
got you.
I apologize for that. Yeah, so 514, like I just said, we're still showing it in case anything falls through with the city. There's still a lot of stuff in there that needs to get taken out. I kind of lost my train of thought there with the disconnect, but I'm pretty sure that about sums it up.
And as far as stuff in the building, we still have all the CCS records in there. So CCS is hiring somebody as an LTE. The state is paying for it through the CCS program, and they're going to scan all those documents and then destroy them. I did speak to the mayor about keeping the stuff in the building for a little while, and they don't have a problem as long as it's not too long a period, because they want to get work on the building themselves. So we can, until that time, we can keep it in the building and then scan it as we go.
Nothing else catastrophic with the courthouse, or besides the fact that there's,
There's nothing
Right.
catastrophic at the moment.
Nope, just we had those couple other leaks, but I pretty sure I found the cause of those leaks
nice.
and very fixable.
And the RFP is out for fixing the building.
Yep.
The deadline is June 6th, I believe. And that the deadline is that late largely because contractors can't really get here until May because the weather doesn't always cooperate.
I myself also plan on getting harnessed up and going down and checking where those leaks were and seeing if I can do a temp patch to hold us over until contractors show up.
Be careful.
Oh, trust me. Like I said, harness up.
Anybody have any questions for Dave?
On the 514, that offer from the city was that contingent on this inspection? Is that why?
Yeah, it's contingent on an engineering inspection.
Okay.
So, again, they haven't, I mean, Mr. Chair Pufall, I mean, the city council just had a meeting on this too. There's no indication the city is going to be backing out at this time. Is that correct? Dick? The city council just had a meeting and 514 was on the agenda. And there's no indication the city's going to be pulling.
Use your mic.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Just on the benches, I'm fine getting rid of benches if they're falling apart. If the employees aren't using them, just leave it to the employees.
Yeah, no, they only use the ones on the side of the building, not the ones on the highway and that.
Yeah.
So,
Nobody wants to sit and smell the cars.
no,
Perfect. That'll make life easier for both plow season and mowing and weed eating.
All right, thank you, David.
Thank you so much.
Next is the Sheriff's Department report, Brian.
We'll start off the year-to-date information for arrests in 2023. 376. Citations, 889. Calls for service, 16,288 so far. That's all for that, the stats on that. We're down a few employees, jail, 2, patrol, 1, dispatch, 2 part-timers were down, or 1 part-timer, I'm sorry. And a couple part-timers in the jail we need as well. They've been vacant for a while. We also had a resignation from our secretary. And then the jail cook who will be retiring in, I believe, August or September.
On the retirement, is there hopes of bringing somebody in before the retirement to, 'cause that's a big job and
It is, so our intentions were to eventually, when it gets closer, to propose somebody hired and trained under the current cook. She requested a couple months. I mean, like I said, she does quite a bit with ordering the food from Cisco, maintaining all the trustees with cooking as well. Like I said, scheduling, she coordinates with another 3/4 time worker, cook. What days, they split up. Like I said, there's also 2 part-timers that we haven't filled for over a year now that they've been requesting. We haven't found anybody, so it's hard for them to take off as well, so. I know we did raise the wages on that last time to 15, so there's still no luck with finding part-timers there as well.
Yeah, we might need to go higher than that because the market out there at a restaurant is more than that.
What is the wage set at for that?
15 for part-time cooks.
Guys make me flinch. I just know at the aging unit, I can't pay that even, so. Uh, Anything else? Brian?
Obviously, there's some public media in the daily press right now with our jail, our interim jail lieutenant that's under administrative leave while it's being investigated by us. I think right now, that's all I can say until we get all their answers. We need to find out.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for Brian? Looks good. Next is the discussion and action for the enterprise agreement.
So I'll give you guys kind of a little background on why we're looking at a lease agreement through enterprise with our squad cars at the sheriff's department. So one of the area concerns that me and Brian focused on as he became sheriff was that our deterioration of the squad cars that we have at the sheriff's department. We're currently running about 15, 16 squads on the road that are nonstop. They're out there all week. Then on top of that, we got some administration vehicles that we use, not for patrol, but for other duties of the sheriff's department. We kind of, over the years, they got behind on that to where we've got to the point now where our squads that are coming to 100,000 or being over 100,000 miles, pushing 150,000 miles, they're kind of outweighing the good squads we have there. So we needed to try to find a way to kind of offset that wouldn't bring the county down financially. The best economic fix for that was, out of my research, was leasing vehicles. And that's something that a lot of counties are going to within the state of Wisconsin now. They're saving money as far as not keeping the vehicles so long, be able to trade them in, get a better value for them, things like that. And then obviously saving on maintenance costs. But typically right now, we're looking at about $50,000 per vehicle. And then on top of that, we got to put another almost $20,000 into it to equip it. So we're looking at almost 70,000 per vehicle. We try to replace at a rate of 2 squads per year. So we're looking at almost $140,000 for that. And in all reality, we probably need to replace 4 of them in the patrol fleet to even get up to where we should be mileage wise. So with that being said, I looked at Enterprise. We were able to get a pretty good actually trading for the vehicles we have now to offset our costs in our new fleet plan. And this would start within, we'd be prorated this year and then we'd go into next year with our payments. So I'll kind of explain that to you. So we're looking at 4 patrol vehicles right now and then trying to replace 2 of the admin vehicles that we got old back that are inoperable anymore. They're pretty much, they need a lot of money and that needs to be stuck in them. So we're looking at 7 squad cars to replace. And we can do that this year. As I look within our budget, we had a budget of $55,000 for squad cars this year through the law enforcement thing is from what I've seen. So that being said, for $43,000, we can get into this lease plan this year, replace 7 of them squad cars, and then annually from there moving forward, it'd be $87,000 a year to keep that lease going for a 4-year lease on them vehicles. Basically what we're looking at is a 4-year lease because we probably put on about 20,000 miles a year. So we're looking at the end of our 4 years, you're hovering around that 100,000 mile thing, and that you're getting your best trade in at that point, and then your vehicles, the maintenance is still not to the point where you're sticking a lot of money into them. So that's where you kind of turn it in and get the best value for them. And then just on the maintenance aspect of it, I ran some reports, kind of the big saving with leasing vehicles is the maintenance program on it. So I ran some numbers for last year's of 21 and 22. We at the sheriff's department, and I broke this down to just isolate our vehicles that I'm talking about, the ones that have 95,000 miles up to 150,000 miles. And in 2021 alone, just on them vehicles, we paid almost a little over $11,000 in repairs from them vehicles, just because we're starting at 100,000 and more. We're starting to place rear ends in vehicles. We're starting to place bearings and stuff like that. They're costing us a lot of money. So with that being said, getting rid of these vehicles prior to 100,000 or right around 100,000 miles, you're eliminating them repair costs for the county. You're saving that money. In 22, we were probably in this pretty close to the same ballpark. We were at about 10.5 in repairs on them same vehicles. So I think we can cut a lot of that repair cost out for the county, going to leasing. And with leasing vehicles, we get rid of them just as their warranties are coming up. For the squad cars that we're getting now, we got 100,000 miles on the drivetrain, and then 36,000 miles on bumper to bumper. So your transmissions, motors and stuff like that, we're good up to 100,000 on them. Does anybody have any questions up at this point?
Who does your maintenance?
So we have, so typically, historically, the county has let the deputies kind of pick who they want to bring their squad cars to for repairs. So you'll have your deputies that live in the south, they'll pick repair shops down there. The guys who live in the north here, they usually pick somebody in the Ashland area to work on their squads.
Okay, nobody like the county, say highway department, do they have mechanics?
Well, they do, and I thought the same thing, but I haven't had that discussion yet, so I don't want to speak on that.
Yeah,
but
and I'm not saying a rear end goes out or something, that's, I'm sure
Yeah.
they've got enough going on. But oil changes, regular maintenance, and if you can get it in, the quicker you can get it in, the better off you are, but definitely save some money on that end of it.
And I've looked at that too, because I know in some of my counterparts in their counties, their highway department does do their maintenance. And I believe, if I'm not wrong, the city of Ashland does their own maintenance too on their squads at the city garage, so.
Yeah, just, you know, looking at different ways, maybe you can save, but I know the police cars are, you gotta use them.
Right.
And I remember years ago, we, in our contract had that, at 100,000, you gotta take care of this car. We can't drive it anymore.
Yeah.
So,
And that's the biggest thing that I look at too, is when we shouldn't be putting our deputies in a squad car that's over 100,000 miles, and especially at 150,000 miles. It's grave danger. I mean, especially for the type of driving they're doing, the braking they're doing out there, all that stuff. I mean, it's just, they're dangerous at that point. So,
yeah, they've got a large area, so.
yeah. So I think it's a safety aspect more than anything on a lot of this stuff, so.
And getting this on a regular schedule would be great, that, and I know in finance, I'd said, you know, just making sure that these vehicles are good, making sure you guys are driving around in good stuff, and then people are being transported in good quality equipment too, so it's just for the best of everybody. Does anybody have any questions about it? Do we need to take action on this? I mean,
Yeah, if you could take action, finance committee didn't, so.
What did you say? What action?
just in support of this agreement,
I think it
Did
should be
you-
up to the finance committee and see what.
finance already did. We, yeah,
Finance already took it up.
Ron,
Do you need a motion?
It would be nice. just-
Okay. Then I'll
I mean,
make,
it's on the agenda for tomorrow either way,
yeah,
yeah,
but it would be,
two
it
committees.
would be nice to say the committee supported it.
I'll make a motion. We go forward with the leasing with Enterprise for the sheriff's department vehicles.
I'll second it to get it on the table.
So first by Ron and a second by Brad. Any more discussion?
So there was another one, and maybe we're getting to that with Bad River report
No.
was in there.
But by going forward, does that mean passing it to the finance committee?
No, it's going to,
Finance
it's on
already
the
looked at it.
agenda for tomorrow morning.
We're not making the decision to do it. We're just saying,
We're in
That-
support. Finance already looked at it and we were in support of it then too.
I don't know.
Yeah, I do want to add that we did, Mike and Steve did contact the DOR, and this is debt levy eligible. So we would be borrowing money next year to buy new cars anyhow. And so we can borrow money, less money this year to do this.
We'd have to borrow money every year though, then to do this?
We borrow money every year
We
for
do.
cars.
We do.
So we spend 140,000 every year on cars, and this is, but we have 15 and this was only for 7.
Right. The four that Bad River has, they pay for.
Yeah. And we're kind of playing catch up right now.
Yeah,
So, but we're not, right now, we're only gonna lease 7 for the county.
Yeah.
Eventually we'll release 7 more. Is it total of 15 squads?
So basically, the way, the way it'll work is you're gonna keep rotating vehicles out. But the way it works too with Enterprise is we get 100% of the resale on them. They don't keep none of that. So say we trade in 7 cars and get 7 new ones, we'll actually have equity in all of them. So them lease payments are actually gonna come down to where point is to where you're almost not even, some of them you're not, you don't have a lease on anymore.
Okay, that makes sense.
So if you look at the corner, actually, it's not up there anymore, but with the current breakup they have for us, going into this, we got $97,000 of equity. So we actually have more than what we're spending into it right now. So that should keep building as we go.
If you can scooch it over just a smidge. There you go.
So we actually have equity into the program already because we're selling cars back into it. And then another reason why that, I will tell you guys too, that number should go down is that right now we have, because we didn't have the money budgeted for it. So what we did is we actually put our builds into our squad cars. So that's $17,000 per squad car extra. That's into this lease program right now. So our second turnaround of this, we should be able to use that equipment for a second turn where we ain't spending that $17,000 again. So we'll save money on that end of it too.
Sounds great.
Which we never didn't, well, most of the time in the past that we didn't do that. They always bought new equipment. So we're gonna try to stick to the same models so we can reuse the equipment. We're not basically junking it.
It still probably costs money to have it transferred over the
Yeah,
the
yeah,
equipment,
yeah.
but it won't be 17,000. It'll be something smaller to transfer that.
Yep.
Is there any more questions, discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstain? All right. Where are we? Enterprise Jail Administration Report.
Well, I'll run with that. So the year to date for jail population for 2023, number of bookings, 261. Daily average held in the facility is 38. Daily average held on monitors, 11. Daily average boarded somewhere else, 5. Total daily average is 54. We go down to our transportation. As far as the total in transportation is 15. The amount of hours invested in those transports, 357 hours, 0.75. The total mileage, 8,993. Boarded inmates, 4. Inmates on monitor, 7. I believe that's probably current. Broken down to inmates by race, Native American 52, Hispanic 1, African American 5, white 77, unknown 3. That's all on that.
Does anybody have any questions on that report? Of the 4 boarded, where are they boarded? And is it females again?
Well, we're decent. Go ahead.
Been female Oneida, I think.
Oneida.
Yeah, I believe from the reports that they sent us in the morning, I believe they're Oneida County.
Okay,
They're
so
boarded.
it's still females in Oneida
Mhm.
County? Boy, having that mileage and the hours and time into that listed for the transportation is just. That's why we need good vehicles.
Yep. And he usually, he's nonstop. The one transfer we have, we're trying to recruit maybe 1 or 2 more retired cops, so he gets a break.
Nice. Anything else from anyone? All right. Well, we did the number 10, we did that along with that, the population report with the breakdowns. So we'll go on to number 11, discussion and action with the MATA update.
So our last intern, we kind of jumped in, like I said, both fully invested with that. We've had some meetings in Bad River. So as far as the Suboxone program, I think we're on the same page. There was a lot of people involved. We broke it down to, at the time, Kyle was just said, I need to deal with the medical provider only. Because like I said, we got that figured out where assessments can be done before, we're getting ahead of ourselves. And then I think that was squared away. Since then, I'm having our ankle monitor guy step in, and he's 100%. I says, I'm fully invested. You do too. Well, let's go to and have him come to the meetings. We're both very knowledgeable, and it's going to happen. Like I said, it's just there's actually a couple new people that we're going to get assessed. with, Barb, last week, I think Mullen, on Bad River. She's been working with us, so, we're gonna make sure that's able, people that can receive that treatment.
Thank you.
Yep.
I appreciate how quickly you guys turned that around into something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still learning a lot, like I said, but, I tend to keep going to the meeting up with everybody and, I just don't want to see it fall to the wayside what's currently going on. So like I said, the ankle monitor guy, I asked him to be invested as much as I am. So he's on board and, we're gonna make sure it continues to happen.
Does anybody have any questions?
And well, we had meetings with in Bad River, as well. So I think there's available monies as well. What type of, whether it's pills, the strips or shots. I think the shots are expensive. Be nice if we can do that. They last 30 days, but so it'd be less involvement with daily usage. So we're trying to make the best way possible for the jailers as well, because they still have to run their operation. So we're trying to, I'm not saying we won't, if we, a lot of times you got to monitor the inmates and see that it dissolves, and it takes a while. It could take up to 10 minutes. So, and how we do that legally as well. If we can do a group all together at once and have a disclosure form signed that you don't care, there's one person standing next to you. Something we all gotta look at the legalities of that too, so everybody's covered and safe. But I think it's going in the right direction. Well, I know it is. It's just a matter of a lot of stuff happening at once. So,
I know if we could just handle things one thing at a time, right?
yes,
Like I said, I really do appreciate how quickly you
Yep.
turned that from constant struggle into this.
yeah, thank you.
It's in everybody's best interest. I mean, and especially for the community.
Mhm. And I think in the meantime too, when grant opportunities pop up now, we can go for them as well too. So that will help with maybe funding or whatnot and
Nice.
how we can use it towards, like I said, maybe more effective or efficient way of doing shots. Like I said, it
Yeah.
comes down to money for each one as well. So that's it.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Next is the emergency management report.
Okay, well, we're still in the process of trying to hire somebody. But I can tell you, earlier this month, Chair Pufall declared a state of emergency with the flooding. And Megan Quarter, the emergency manager in Bayfield County, assisted us with that.
Nice.
So I know a bunch of other communities declared a state of emergency too. Bad River did, the city of Ashland, Mellon. So they had all these local communities too. And we were able to coordinate with Bad River on mapping updates. So they knew, so we could put out which roads were closed due to water. So GIS took care of that and highway helped with that. And so everybody pitched in.
Like a team.
Yeah,
like
it was nice. So, but hopefully we'll have someone hired soon. We have one decent applicant and I believe there's one or two more coming in.
Cool. Any committee member have a question? Seeing none, we can move on to the joint dispatch update.
Okay, I'm not going to go through this whole report. It's online, but I'll just give us a little bit of highlights of it. So, first of all, the grant for Next Gen 911 is due May 1st. So we will be submitting it then. In order to qualify for the grant, we have to do all these things in the plan, including one of them is having one of the two counties having two dispatchers on it 24/7, 365. So Bayfield County is in the process of doing that right now. And they are going to be asking us to contribute to 30% to a couple extra dispatchers. I believe that comes to $40-some thousand. It's in the packet for tomorrow to approve. And that would be a signal that the county is all in on this. So. The headquarters for dispatch will be in Washburn. They have more space for dispatch than we do. They have a better IT infrastructure there. And it just makes a lot more sense. So what they're going to do is create a separate department, separate from the sheriff's department, and hire a department head there. And that'll be the department head, then there'll be lead dispatchers when the department head is not at work. Otherwise, the department head serves as the lead dispatcher, and then dispatchers. Employees there will receive the higher pay scale of the two counties. So in this case, it's Bayfield County, and so they will be Bayfield County employees. They'll all receive the benefits and pay through Bayfield County. They will be taking care of the insurance and the accounting, but we do pay half of those expenses as an administrative fee. The plan is to set up a governance board to manage the dispatch unit. So it would be 6 people, 3 from Ashland County and 3 from Bayfield County. It's the 2 administrators, the 2 sheriffs, and 2 county board members. So the chair would appoint a county board member to this committee. Or the chair could appoint himself too, if he likes. As of right now, all the costs for dispatch are going to be 50-50. Right, that's largely because we don't know what the data of calls is until we actually do it. But bear in mind, a couple years down the road, we may switch to a per call basis. So it's possible we could be paying more, or Bayfield County could be paying more. But the advantages of this joint dispatch are, one, the grant from Wisconsin Emergency Management. Next Gen 911 is going to be mandatory in the next few years. And as with anything the state does, they're offering grants today. But if we don't take advantage of those grants down the road, we're going to be up for all the costs of that. Now, there are going to be a bunch of upfront costs. And I know I've stated this at numerous other meetings, I don't know if here, but we got the LCTF funding, which is local county tribal assistance funding. And basically a pilot payment for our county forest from the federal government. We got $577,000 last year, and we're getting another $577,000 this year. That gives us $1.14 million that we didn't have, and the idea is to use it for one-time expenses and not just roll it up and have it go away. So joint dispatch seems like a perfect opportunity for us to do something useful with the money. We are going to have to probably put up another tower for radio communications. And the grant will pay for a lot of other stuff, but there's still going to be upfront costs for both counties. It's not going to cost us less joint dispatch. It's going to cost more. And the simple fact is we're hiring more people, and that's going to make it cost more. But we are getting a better system, and we are going to be able to serve both counties much more efficiently and provide the service that they expect. So, what's nice about this is it'll enable emergency medical dispatch, which we do part of the time already, but Bayfield County doesn't. And basically what that is you call in dispatch and say I'm having a heart attack. Supervisor Naker, you call in 911, the dispatcher stays on the phone with you and tells you what to do, whether it's perform CPR or anything, until a police officer gets there, / sheriff's deputy, or an ambulance or a fire department, some emergency responder gets there. So at least the person has a chance. So this joint dispatch will enable us to do that 24/7 in both counties. So that's a huge bonus for people. Again, it'll provide quicker responses because there's more people answering the phones, which is, again, a matter of public safety. And, you know, when you're in a bad situation, you need dispatch right away. So we anticipate this process is going to happen. The actual full merger would happen on January 1st, 2025. It could take less time, but, you know, January 1st, 25 makes a lot more sense because it's the beginning of a budget year. And it's also just the beginning of the year. I mean, and it gives us enough time to order all the equipment we need, which could take 18 months, to be honest, to get. Sheriff Zupke has been part of all the discussions. I don't know if you have anything to add.
I mean, it's nothing set in writing, but as far as the current grant, I mean, once this one expires, if it's accepted, they believe there's gonna be more grants to help establish those dispatch centers even more, because they realize this costs a lot more than 500,000. I mean, they strongly are saying that there's a good chance there's gonna be more that you guys can go for. So that's gonna get them maybe fully operational with less county funding.
And while there's a hopeful option out there too, the Speaker of the Assembly is pushing something called innovation grants, which is rewarding cities and counties, well, all municipalities to merge services. So they want to give grants to encourage merging of services. I know the Speaker is really high on these grants. Senate is kind of iffy on it. But I expect in the final budget bill, there'll be something in there. And since we're merging with another county, we'd be eligible for those grants. In fact, we could hopefully maybe be the poster child for that. Now, I will say we're already thinking ahead that in, say, 5 years from now or more, that if other counties want to join in, that is a possibility. Of course, they would have to pay some upfront fees and all the expenses of them joining in. But that could potentially lower costs down the road. You know, but at that point, depending on how many counties came in, I don't know, we might be looking at a whole new facility at that point, just because there's limited space in Washburn. But I could see it happening because, again, it's a way for counties to, if we can do something to lower costs for everyone and provide better service for everyone. And you don't, the days are gone where you need to know there's the white church on the dirt road that you turn left at. You don't need to know that anymore with GIS and mapping these days. They can just see it on a map, you know. So technically you could actually be anywhere and do it, that aspect of it. So I do expect 10 years from now or so that you're going to see a lot more of this consolidation as the technology improves. But the whole 70 pages is in the packet for anybody interested.
I do just want to point out on table 2, the Bayfield County Sheriff's part of the team are the same as the Ashland County Sheriff's part of the team. And so it probably should be fixed.
Oh, yes,
form.
we did notice that, and that's why it says draft on there. But yeah, he's talking about. Okay.
I think we have a meeting this week. We can.
Yeah, there's a meeting tomorrow, actually.
We've had, I lost track of how many meetings because it's kind of getting crammed in every week. So we have our big Zoom meetings and this company, basically, everybody kind of throws what they want for the joint comes in agreement and they draft it up real quick and then we correct it and keep doing that.
Yes, so they'll be meeting while we have our county board meeting. So Brian, if you could.
Yep.
And I believe Mark already had the change with right here where it says presiding county board president. Should say chair.
Okay.
Any questions?
What was the cost to this company to be working on this?
It was So far, it's been a total of about $60,000. And Ashland County paid half, Bayfield County paid half. They've been working hard. Supervisor Stender is on the committee.
They've got a lot of time and effort into it. And they're not letting anything slide. They're on you they want to hear your input and get everything in.
Yeah, just so everybody knows, Supervisor Stender and Supervisor Mertig are both on the committee. We wanted to pick people from who represent the entire county.
Are we looking for a motion to approve or?
Nope, this is just
Okay.
information for you. The county board will be approving or not approving, whatever they choose, the paying Bayfield County for the extra dispatchers. The county board's already approved the whole process going forward so far. There will be later on the governance agreement that both counties have to approve. And that's in draft 4 now, I think. And there's still a few changes. I know one thing we want to change is for lack of a better word, the divorce clause. Right now it's at 18 months and we'd like to see it go to 36. Because quite honestly, it's going to take you 18 months just to get the equipment. So, and we also want 2 county board elections in between so that, there can be a change of heart. And it just kind of forces everybody to work together better.
Right. And so all operations will take place out of Washburn.
All operations will take place in Washburn. Ashland will serve as a backup facility in case there's catastrophe there.
Will there be people stationed in Ashland?
No,
Oh,
not
just-
unless,
Not unless there's something wrong.
no. And then we have mobile dispatch units too that if we need to.
Well, I think this is great and thanks for all the hard work and keep it up. And hopefully the county board tomorrow will approve to pay for that.
Any other questions?
Okay, seeing none, we can move on to the LaPointe update.
Okay, so we had our hearing at the Department of Revenue a week and a half ago. It was Friday, week from last Friday. I believe it went pretty well, although I bet if you ask the town, they'll probably say the same thing. Briefs end up due on May 5th from both sides. And the DOR has 180 days from when LaPointe filed the initial claim to decide. And I believe that was like January 28th. So they have about approximately until June 28th to make a decision. We're very confident they're going to decide in our favor. We do have an item on the agenda tomorrow that we're going to pull off about the notice of claims. The town is required to give us a notice of claims before they sue in state court. And the county has to either accept or deny it. Or we will be pulling that off the agenda tomorrow at the request of our attorneys. They want a little bit more time. So. Any questions about that?
I'll just ask the same question I asked on the last one. How much do we spend on attorneys so far?
About 13 grand.
Is there any other questions? Okay, next would be our meeting date,
Before we get to that, can I make one comment?
maybe.
I just wanted everybody to meet our newest member of the committee, Laura Miranda.
I was gonna say, you needed to schedule that in, or we need to have something on there, any other business.
Right, we do. But
So
so
how do I
Laura,
fit this in here?
Laura represents District 13. and- So this is her first meeting. So everybody, please introduce yourselves. I'm sorry.
I'm Laura Negro. I'm the chair of the committee. I'm District 3. I've been on the county board since 2019.
Brad Ray, I represent District 6, downtown Ashland here, and I've been on the board since the last election, which was 2022.
Mike Stark from District 10, just been on this board since the last election in 2022, but was on the county board for 10 years prior to that. Past years.
Dick Bufalo, County Board Chair.
Been here forever. You've been here forever.
Ron?
And I don't even know what district I'm in. They moved everything around between the city council and that. Ron jumped the gun and already introduced himself.
Oh, that's because you're a neighbor there.
Yeah.
I want to welcome you, Laura, from one Laura to another, just to like put that out there. Why don't you tell us a little about yourself?
So my name is Laura Miranda and I live in Odena, Wisconsin. I got here from Mike Berlin, who wouldn't, he just kept coming and coming. I'm the Sustainable Business Specialist for the Bad River Tribe. And I'm currently in a Master's in Management program with LCO College. And I guess that's about it.
Nice. Well, welcome aboard.
And Sheriff, Chief Deputy, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, Nate Deligan, I'm Chief Deputy with the Sheriff's Office.
Welcome aboard, Brian Zupke, Sheriff.
Nice, okay.
And you already met.
All right, next meeting date, usually in July. The last Monday is the 31st.
I'm going to be in Mexico.
You just keep going to Mexico.
I will. But yeah, I'm going to be in Mexico on the 31st.
I think we should all meet in Mexico for the meeting.
That's right, it's online.
No, in person, we should be there.
Oh, okay, let's move the meeting. How about the 24th? Is there
That'll work.
any conflict there? Lori, is there a bunch of stuff? 24th of July? We do
Uh,
quarterly unless there's something magnificent that needs us to come back in.
I'm not showing anything on the calendar.
Okay. 24th, does it look good to everybody?
Lori, can you please update the calendar as soon as possible?
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
Because Lori's a pain about that. Thank you, Lori.
You're welcome.
Otherwise, it's everybody's favorite motions. Ron is the first for adjourning
Brad second.
and Brad's the second. Do you guys want to discuss it? All right. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye.